Hi, I'm here with AJ Arnett. AJ is a career consultant with the JFCS Career Development Center. And today we're going to talk about the work that AJ is doing with 412 Futures. AJ, how you doing?
Doing great. Happy to be here this morning. How are you?
I'm doing all right. So AJ, can you share briefly what 412 Futures is?
Yeah, absolutely. So 412 Futures is an after-school program designed for immigrant and refugee high school students here in Allegheny County. And the goal of the program is to help these students create a vision for their future, chart a course to getting to that future, to actualizing that future, and to help them navigate all of the space in between now and that image that they have of themselves in the future.
So, high school kids all go through this really complex, challenging journey trying to figure out who they are and what they want to do in the future. How is that journey different for immigrant students than for kids who are born here in the US?
Yeah, well, you're absolutely right that high school is a challenging time for anybody, right? I'm sure we can all think back to our own high school days and remember all of the challenging situations and challenging decisions that we had to make about ourselves during that time. And so all of those challenges exist for our immigrant and refugee students as well. But on top of that, they're also in large part adjusting to a very new social and educational environment while that's happening. So in many cases, they're adjusting to learning a new language, uh, attending a new type of schooling in some cases, and adjusting to a broader cultural landscape that is very different than the one that they grew up in. And all of those things add really substantial additional challenges onto the challenges that every high schooler faces about sort of determining who they are and who they want to be in the future.
Right, sure. So how has 412 Futures, the program that you work with, how has that been successful in helping immigrant and refugee youth meet those challenges?
Yeah, so a big part of our program is giving students the tools and the knowledge to make all of these processes a little bit easier. So one of the things that we do in the program is we try to host as many workshops as possible to give kids the tools to make some of these decisions. So that involves a lot of education on what are jobs and careers that are even possible for me. A lot of students come into our program really honing in on a few key job and career areas, like being a teacher, being a nurse, being a doctor. And we spend a lot of time expanding all of those possibilities and also working to show them that they can reach those possibilities. So we try to give students as much contact as we can with higher education institutions, with employers, and especially with people who look like them and who come from similar backgrounds as them. Give them as much contact with those people so that they can see, I can reach that future too. There is a path for me. And I have people here who are in my corner who can help me and help to give me the tools to reach that position. So some of the ways that we do that in actuality is we have spent some time visiting higher education institutions. So taking field trips to places like the University of Pittsburgh, Duquesne University, Triangle Tech, Rosedale Tech, and some other employers like Alcosan and Pittsburgh Public Theater. We do all of those things to try to help get kids to be able to visualize more than just on a conceptual level.
Yeah, can you think of any kids in particular? I mean, not using their names or anything, of course, but any kids in particular who you've noticed shifted their vision of themselves and their career aspirations as a result of their participation in 412 Futures?
Yeah, absolutely. I can think of one student who, coming into our program, really didn't have a clear idea of what he wanted to do. He had thought a little bit about the healthcare industry, largely because it's what he knew. He knew that that was a job that he could do, regardless of whether or not he really had any interest in it. And through exploring some options with career and technical and trade schools and learning about those through our program, he actually found out that he was really interested in doing some type of mechanical engineering or working on automotive technology. And so now that he's a senior this year, we're focusing on that with him, trying to explore some of those options and actually start going through application processes to get to one of those trade or technical schools where he can specialize in that field.
Wow, that's really great. That reminded me when you were telling that story. I went with a group of the 412 Futures kids to the government building downtown in Pittsburgh a couple years ago, and we met with Mayor Peduto. And one of the girls in the group had said prior to coming on that visit, she wanted to go into the healthcare field. But after meeting with the mayor and listening to him and hearing about what he was doing, she decided that she would rather go into public service and is thinking about contributing back to the community in that way. So yeah, it definitely can have a significant impact on kids. So there's a lot of work that you do with students and with their families through 412 Futures. Um, Most JFCS programs I know partner with other organizations with the things that we do. What organization or organizations does 412 Futures partner with, and what do those partnerships look like?
Yeah, absolutely. So 412 Futures is the program that it is because of the organization that we're able to work with throughout the program. So, some of the organizations that we work with are the school district. So Pittsburgh Public Schools in particular, but also the Baldwin Whitehall School District. We work with them to try to plan events and to try to get on the same page about what the needs of youth are so that we can both better serve the students that we see. We also work really strongly with other community organizations. The Alliance for Refugee Youth Support and Education, ARISE, we actually go to their after school program to present our content, and we combine a lot of the workshops that we do. The same is true for Casa San Jose, where we come to group meetings that they have, and we try to combine our services. So, of course, right now, COVID-19 has been a huge additional hardship on students and families. And students have a lot of really acute needs, especially when it comes to troubleshooting with technology and helping with homework. And a lot of those organizations try to meet those more immediate needs while allowing us to help students plan for the future, because the future doesn't stop coming even though things get busier. So working together with those organizations helps us to meet all of the needs of the students, as opposed to sacrificing future planning for the now or vice versa.
Great. Well, this is a great program. It's great work that you're doing. Thanks, AJ, and the entire JFCS team that's working on 412 Futures.
Absolutely. Happy to be doing it.
Great.